Hey, welcome everybody. Today I'm going to show you how to use your graphing calculator. As you can see mine, I have it on here so you can also view it. First thing you want to do is turn it on. Next thing you want to do is go into y equals and make sure that all of your plots are off. Okay, plots off will look like that, unhighlighted. If they're on, you'll simply see something like that. And you want to make sure to do that everything else is cleared out of here. Okay, next up, we're going to plug in x squared minus 2x plus 3. So x, uh, excuse me, x is going to be right here beside alpha. So x and then squared minus 2x plus 3. Now, in order to see this on a graph, if I want a standard 10 by 10 graph, I'm going to go ahead and go to zoom, and I'm going to go down to number 6, which is standard. I can pretty much see everything from here. So if I want to, I can then start looking for my vertex or some other things that I might have, such as x-intercepts or y-intercepts. So in order to find a vertex, I first need to determine if it is a maximum or a minimum value. In this case, you see that it is a minimum value. So I'm going to go second trace, minimum. Again, that's second trace, minimum. And then I want to make sure that I can find my cursor. Now, you might have to try around a couple times in order to find your cursor. Essentially, if you find your cursor, okay, that might be where my vertex is. You want to go left of it, and it's left bound. And then you want to scroll back over top of it to the right side of it. Hit enter again. Each time I hit enter, I should see these little carrots up here. I call them carrots. They're just blue triangles. They should face each other. Some of you will have lines on your graphing calculator, some will not. It just depends on what version you have. The big thing is that those triangles face each other, and your vertex is in between them. If I hit enter one more time, it'll show me where my vertex is. Now, unfortunately, I don't have any x-intercepts here, so I'm going to jump to y-intercepts, and then we'll graph another problem. So go into second trace for your y-intercept. Go to value and type in 0. There's your y-intercept. So let's take a look at something that might have x-intercepts. I'm going to adjust this. X squared minus 2x minus 3. I'm going to put another minus in there. Graph and see what it does. Now I have, okay, again, I'm going back to this equation, x squared minus 2x minus 3. I just changed it. Now I have two x-intercepts. So let's go through some of those steps again on how to find vertex. So again, second trace. This is still a minimum value. Now, if it was the other way, it would be a maximum value. I have to find that, my vertex. Minimum value. Okay, here's my vertex. If you notice where my cursor is, I'm going to go left bound, hit enter. And I'm going to go right bound, hit enter. And then I don't need to worry about guessing, just enter again. And there's my vertex. Sometimes it gives you this little extra decimal. It might just be off by like a 0.1 millionth or something. That's fine. Now this is 1, -4. How to find x-intercepts. You want to go back in the second trace. And notice this term 0. 0 is an x-intercept. So I'm going to go ahead and hit that. And now it's going to ask me the same questions it did for my vertex. Left bound, right bound, and then guess. So in order to find each x-intercept, I will have to do this twice. The first time I'm looking for this first x-intercept here, left bound, I want to go to the left of it, hit enter, and then I want to scroll back across it to the right side and enter again. It'll look like your cursor is going up and down, but really it's just moving left and right. I don't care about a guess. And there's my first x-intercept at -1, 0. In order to find the second one, simply go back to second trace, go to 0, and then scroll over to the other one here. If you notice, that's where my next x-intercept is approximate. So left bound, I'm going to go to the left side of it, hit enter, go to the right side of it, enter again, and again, notice my carrots are facing each other, my x-intercepts in between, enter, and then there's my next x-intercept of 3, 0. Uh, Last thing I really want to try and find is my uh, y. So my y-intercept again, second trace value. Type in a 0 and then hit enter. Let's say, for instance, I want to find some additional points. There's a couple different ways I can do that. You can either go into second trace again, click value, and then just type in a number. So, for instance, 2. Gives me my y value. That's one of the ways that I can find an additional point. Another way to do that, to use an additional point, is go into second graph. If I go into second graph, I can find a bunch of different additional points using what we call the table. This is just a list of table of values for whole numbers. And that's pretty much it. Make sure to rewind and look to see which part maybe you need a little bit of help on. If you do need a little bit of extra help, you can always come see me. Thanks. Take care.